Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Daybreak right here on Trust TV. Right now it's time for us to take a look at the elections and, of course, politics in Nigeria as it's going on. With elections just around the corner, the campaigns for the three main contending candidates representing the All Progressives Congress, the APC, the People's Democratic Party, and the Labour Party are now in full swing. Now, the nation is facing a crisis in which the problems are well defined, and therefore it should come as no surprise that the manifestos of the APC, PDP, and the Labour Party candidates are all very well similar in context. Now, we have in the studio someone who has been in government and was until recently a member of the People's Democratic Party, and is now a chieftain of the All Progressive Congress, a former commissioner of information in Edo State. That is in the person of Honorable Kasim Afegwa. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Just to tell you that I'm not a member of APC.
Oh, okay. All right. So
I haven't joined APC. I'm only supporting Tinubu.
Oh, all right, sir.
I'm partyless. I'm a Nigerian voter.
Okay.
Well, that sounds a bit controversial. How is that possible? You are supporting the presidential candidate of the APC as a Nigerian and not as a party man.
As a voter.
Just as a voter.
Yes.
So at the moment, you are not in any political party. Is that correct?
Not at all.
And why is that for someone that has a record like yours, who has been in the political scene for quite some time?
I just wanted to give myself a break. And you know, the reasons why I left the PDP are so obvious. From day one, I said, if PDP wants to chart the path of honor, you know, they should allow southern candidates to emerge, because we'll be finishing a President Buhari 8 years from the north. It should be north, south, north, south. And within the APC, I witnessed the meeting of the northern governors of the APC, 14 of them, took a decision and met with the president that it's only natural that they should allow the candidate of the party to emerge from the south. Don't forget that in APC there were rumors of President endorsing Ahmed Lawan, do this, that, but the governors rose to the challenge because they are conscious of the diversities in the country and the need for political stability. If you don't do that, you are going to be cultivating instability. It's not about you becoming president. You can be president and the country becomes ungovernable for you. So you need to settle certain things. So the APC captured my fancy. So I said, whoever emerges in APC will have my vote. And that's why I'm supporting Tinubu. But I'm not a member.
You're not a registered member
No,
of that political party?
I'm not.
All right. So, but had it been the PDP that you were formerly of, had towards the line that you just talked about?
Yeah, I will still remain PDP. It's just a matter of fairness, equity,
so that's the only difference
justice.
of opinion that you have with the PDP?
Yeah. Because, you see, let me tell you, a country as sensitive and delicate as Nigeria, we are just at the cliff of every protestation. You have crisis here, you have crisis there, and all of that. And what are these crises on? It's about exclusion, about marginalization. So it's just, PDP said they are desperate, they want to come back to power. I don't know what difference that is going to make. But for God's sake, if you want to come to power, do the right thing. You can't be packing, refuse being under your seat, and you say you want to come to power. Or you accuse APC of certain things, yet you are doing the same thing. So the parties are not too much of a difference in terms of party, because while PDP will condemn APC, PDP will celebrate when APC member joins PDP. While APC will condemn PDP, APC will celebrate when the PDP person joins APC. So it's just, it's just like a circumnavigation, kind of. But what is key for me is knowing the sentiments in the country and trying to balance the power algorithms so that whoever wants to say this, there's a balance of power. At 8 years this way, 8 years this way, 8 years this way, 8 years this way. That's why the democracy. Such decision must be deliberate.
If you talk about sentiments and fairness, there are those who would say, well, your decision to support Tinubu is not necessarily you know, justifiable, since also there are those who feel that that same ticket of the Tinubu, you know, candidature does not actually also take into cognizance the sentiments of some people. So, for instance, people are talking about the same faith ticket.
I am not one of those who will be persuaded by religion in politics, because these are two parallel lines that can't meet. And I've argued this in some other places. Your religion is your relationship between you and God. Politics is about what you do on earth here. Religion is the hereafter. We are preparing ourselves for what to become our hereafter. That's what I understand religion to be. It is not here. In politics, you play politics because you want to affect certain things happening in terms of governance, that's of delivering the essentials, welfare for the people, services, and all of that. So by the time the responsibility of religions or the faiths is to help to moderate our conduct in the society, so that by the time God will be weighing our sins and our good side, we'll say, oh, we are falling in line with the good side of God, and we have Al-Jannah, you know, or paradise, as some will say. But where in politics, it is where you see all the bizarre, you know, conduct, all manners of conduct. Somebody will betray you, they'll say it's politics. He will stab you in the back, he'll say it's politics. He will cheat you, they say it's politics. He will corruptly enrich himself, he say it's politics. You'll be clapping for him. They'll say he's possessed political savvy. For God's sake, you can't marry religion and politics together, except you are telling me that there's a different definition for that. So I am not looking at either same faith or no same faith, because the one that is of different faith, Pastor Sibanjo has not built one church since he's become vice president of Nigeria. So what are we talking about? Buhari has not added one church to one mosque to Islam since he joined being president. What is the problem about this same faith? And we are talking about the capacity to deliver on your promise to the people. That should be our focus.
Okay. All right. Now, if the PDP had picked a different running mate from Okowa,
I would still not
would
support.
you have been
I
in
would
the
still not
PDP?
support.
Because you are also known to have said,
I would have left.
You criticized the decision of Atiku Abubakar for picking.
I would have left.
Okowa.
No matter who he picks, I would have left the PDP.
Does your local politics has anything to do with your decision to leave the PDP?
Now I'm looking.
In Edo State, you are not in good terms with your governor.
I don't have to be in good terms with anybody. My brother, I'm a Nigerian voter. It is a right that is guaranteed under the constitution of the country. On that voting day, I'll queue my polling unit and put my vote on whoever I support. When the governor was contesting the election, I came out openly, even though I was a member of PDP, to say I wasn't going to support him. You see, we should derive courage and some morality to look at leaders in the face and tell them what they want to hear. The PDP process of choosing candidate was almost concluded when Obaseki joined the party. They had to, it's like turning the hand of the clock backwards to accommodate him. That is wrong in a democracy. Obaseki had other parties who could have just gone there to join them. But the PDP say, oh, they want to add one figure to their governorship and all of that. So he has deep pocket to spend, he has government money to spend for elections. So they brought him. I said, this is wrong. I was shouting, nobody wanted to listen to me. All the things I said in 2020, they've come to pass. The party in the state is balkanized. You have a Danobi fashion, you have an Obaseki fashion.
So is it fair to say that you were already on your way out of the PDP by the time that Atiku Abubakar emerged the presidential candidate?
No, I wasn't on my way out at all. I participated. I was even going to contest election as House of Rep member. I was going to do that. You know, you see, you have to look, first you look at national politics, you look at your local peculiarities and all of that. And for me, I am not answerable to the governor. The governor is answerable to me as a citizen of, you know, Edo. And so I have the right to interrogate him on issues if he's not performing in line with the promise he made to the people. I complained that the governor was abandoning my community of Okbela, where I come from, because Okbela is one of the hotbeds in terms of resources for the states. We have two cement giants, Dangote Cement and Boa Cement in my community. So it's a limestone community, and for that reason, so much resources is accruing to the state government, but our rules are nothing to write home about. There are no facilities, there are no this and all that. I said, so you cannot tell me to come. You have promised severally, you come and fix our road, you come and do this, or you come and give us water and all of that. Electricity is almost non-existent.
There are those who believe that your decision has to do with your loyalty to the former governor of Edo State. That's talking about Adams Oshomole.
I think those people are not, I think they are not conversant with me. Please tell them to go and follow my trajectory. I was the foundation member of APC. I left on my own volition in 2017 when Buhari came on board after 2 years. And I said publicly that Buhari was not living to the expectation of what we promised the people in 2017. Just barely 2 years. And I left and I said, instead of remaining in APC and criticizing such that they will be thinking that Oshomole is lucky, I said, let me pull out. In fact, even myself and Oshomole disagree at some point. If you follow our trajectory, we disagree so vociferously when people were pulling out of APC to join PDP towards the 2019 election. So I can't be anybody's eye service man. No. I'm a friend to Oshomole. We're good friends. The only person that I see that I can be loyal to that is my boss. It's only IBB. And that's a relationship that only death can separate.
All right. That's,
But IBB is not in Edo State politics, and perhaps you are nursing ideas of perhaps becoming a senator from Edo State,
No, I want to be
a governor
I want to
in
be a
Edo State.
governor.
So how do you want to do that when you are not in good terms with the
be.
people who have been there?
No,
I mean, we know how Nigerian politics works.
I'm in good terms with Oshomole. I'm not saying I'm fighting Oshomole. But when you say because of my loyalty to Oshomole, that's why no. I'm an adult. I'm over 50. I can be president of Nigeria if I have all the enablement and the means. I have the cognitive experience. I have the capacity. I have network. All I need is resources. Give me resources, I will throw myself in the ring to contest for president. I can integrate any of the candidates of presidency. I can stand before any local, international crowd to address issues of this country because we travel around all these places. So I don't want to say because of some person I'm taking something. No. Even IBB knows me that I'm a man. I have my own heart because I'm going to be answerable to my conscience, not to your conscience. So decisions I take must first of all please my conscience.
So is your boss pleased with your decision to support the presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Tinubu?
Of course. Don't forget that he actually brought Bola Tinubu to politics in 1989. People don't know that. When Bola Tinubu was going to run for Senate, Bola Tinubu had gone to meet him that he was trying to support someone else to contest for Senate. And IBB says, why not you? You have the criteria, you have the qualification. Go and contest. And that's how Bola Tinubu found himself in politics.
all right. Now let's come back to your decision to leave the PDP, support the APC candidate, but not be a member of any political party. Is it because all the political parties that we have right now, because we have a lot of them,
18.
All of these political parties, none of them suits the ideology does not sit well with you. You didn't find anyone.
It's not about ideology. I took a decision to support Asiwaju Bola Tinubu because I felt, and I still feel very strongly, that the APC as a party is in best position to checkmate Atiku's desperation.
Okay.
Desperation for power is not the ultimate in a man's life. You can be of use to the community and the society you belong without necessarily being saying that it must be you. You will contest for president since 32 years ago, and up to now you are still doing that, even against the order of play. So for me, I am one person who will speak out. Even as a commissioner under Oshomole, I challenge him openly for bringing Obaseki on board, and I said I won't support Obaseki, and I didn't support Obaseki even as a commissioner. So I like to take decisions that please my conscience. And after some time, what I predicted would happen, happened. Obaseki and Oshomole went on a warpath. So you have to sit back and watch scenarios and see what to suit a community, a society. Like Nigeria, we are so disparate. You need things that will promote our unity, not things that will save
Okay,
us.
now you talk about, it's not really about ideologies, it's about someone who can checkmate the desperation of Atiku Abubakar. How about the other challenges that Nigeria is dealing with right now? Aren't you concerned about that?
You need leadership to address challenges. You don't need challenges to confront leadership. It's leadership.
No, but the primary reason for you is someone who can make sure that Atiku Abubakar doesn't emerge as president.
You see, the point is this. When you are confronted with a scenario, you do first things first. First of all, you look at individuals. The second, you look at their policies and programs. And the third is you work towards, achieving the purpose for which those policies and programs have been enunciated. I am not one person who will blindly support anyone. In looking at the antecedents of all the three dominant, let me say four, if you put Kwankwaso, four dominant candidates, I see a Tinubu better nuanced, with the politics of the country than an Atiku, than a Peter Obi or Kwankwaso. They have their own strengths, weaknesses, and all that. But in terms of the nitty-gritty of democracy, those who fought for this democracy, while some were in bed with Abacha and his acolytes during his time, Tinubu was in the trenches fighting for this democracy we're talking about. So for me, he's a man who should be
So he's kind of entitled to it.
No. He should be given a recognition that he actually played a role for this democracy. We have 24 years in democracy today. It's all thanks to Tinubu and others. They fought, vociferously and vigorously to ensure that we birth this democracy. And this is the first time he's contesting an election as president. He hasn't put himself forward before. Even though he had platform, which he literally controlled ACN. AC he gave to Atiku in 2007, even though Atiku was a member of PDP and vice president of PDP. In 2011, another person, Nuhu Ribadu, used ACN. And this is the first time, in 2015, as a mastermind of the formation of APC, they presented Buhari. So this is the first time he's contested. I think the man is strategic. And so for me, this is my...
There are those who say that the 2023 election is unlike we've seen before. It's going to be keenly contested because of the caliber of the candidates that are, coming out to contest in that election. Basically a four-horse race, as it is said by some people. And there's a possibility for a runoff because of how tight it's likely going to be. What do you think that will set your candidate apart in terms of the votes now, the numbers?
Let me state categorically that there won't be a runoff. I was seeing a runoff 2 months ago, but now there won't be. You see, the steam is dying down in some places, while the steam is going up in some others. Nigerians, they love to make all manners of permutations. In 2019, we had 84.5 million voters. How many people voted? Less than 30 million. So almost 50-something million voters didn't turn out.
You don't think that this is going to change with the 2023
Now we have
election?
94, we have 90. See, it's not even possible, it's not going to change. You know why? The process of voting from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. in the evening is too short a time to capture the kind of figure you are asking for, 94 million people. It's too short, that's one. Two, materials don't get to some polling units 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. We've seen it before, and it is still going to repeat itself. They'll be waiting for INEC officials. People will queue up, they won't see INEC officials until 11 o'clock, until 12 o'clock, they'll tell you there are logistic problems. So you're still going to have that. So
you don't think that there's been an improvement in the previous, in the previous elections that have been conducted?
In the voting process, but in terms of logistics, I don't see where that improvement is going to come from. Improvement in the fact that beavers, you come, your biometrics is captured and all of that, and you vote. At least there's some level of credibility in the outcome. Fine. But in terms of the people, the number of people who will vote, I am not seeing that incitement that is right there on the field. I am not seeing it in terms of the total outcome. That's why I'm thinking that an APC party with 21 governors presently, feeding candidates in virtually all the elections, House of Assembly, House of Reps, Senate, and governorship, is better positioned to defeat the other parties. Other parties say, oh, they say they are structure. Like the Labour Party will tell you, oh, they have structure. They are the people at their structure. I say, okay, no problem. When you are not there, who campaigns for you? Those who are running elections in other positions campaign for themselves and the candidate representing them at the presidential level. But in the case of the Labour Party, you don't have that. PDP is having a lot of problems. G5 have taken away a chunk. Whether you like it or not, you may underrate it. That's your own. But G5 is G5. It was one of those things that killed, PDP in 2015, when the same article led others to leave. So now it is his turn. Law of karma.
All right. So let's talk about the G5 now that you just opened the door to. From what you're saying right now, are you saying that the G5 governors now will play a significant role? Because a lot of people are saying that they're actually discounting the influence of the G5 when it comes to the PDP, and that you will not have any negative impact on the PDP's fate when it comes to the election.
I love that kind of underestimation. I love it, because anything that will bring PDP down in terms of presidential election, I'm okay with that. So please pardon me, because I like to speak my mind. You see, it is good for you to underestimate, but in politics, one vote matters. Just one. I'm not saying two, one vote. And you are taking away 5 governors, and you say it doesn't matter. Good luck to you.
All right. So let's talk about the credibility of the elections. You touched about it earlier because of the improved process and the rest of it. So do you think with the improved process and the rest of it, we will have a generally acceptable result when it comes out? Because usually we know how it happens. Elections happen, the results come out, and then there's a lot of furore.
You see, the beauty of the Beavers process is that it's almost like eliminating the collation centers. Because from the polling unit, once results are known, they are sent to a central point. Before, when you finish from polling unit, the result of your polling unit can be tampered with when you get to the collation center at the local government headquarters. And from there to the state headquarters. And it's almost like eliminating result sheets. It exists too, but you cannot manufacture one now. Before, people manufacture result sheets. So this process is like cleaning up a system. It's gradually, evolving and coming to a point that we are beginning to appreciate outcome of elections. Even when you go to tribunals after elections, you still see the authenticity of those results being reflected in the arguments in court. So for me, I'm only praying that INEC is able to devise a method that will checkmate the excesses of ad hoc staff. Ad hoc staff are usually the problem. Because they are called ad hoc, they have no responsibility to own INEC. All they want to do on that day, after that day, their work becomes null and void. They have gone. So you can't even trace them.
So that means the excess at the polling unit.
At the polling unit, all those ad hoc staff, they must remain resilient and resolute in taking decisions, because some big men will come with a coterie of aides, police and what have you. Even when IG will tell you no police should go near polling unit. So others will not listen. They would still go with all those things to try to untwist all those INEC officials who are called ad hoc staff. How do you train them? They are quite a volume. You train them well. How do you ensure?
To what extent will that have an effect this time around, given that we are now mainly using the electronic system?
Yeah. They can, and they can. Pressure can bend an INEC an ad hoc staff backwards to do the unthinkable. And so what I'm saying is that people must be vigilant. Agents of political parties must be vigilant. The security officials must also, when complaints come to them, must also be able to take decisions. Because we are talking about elections at the polling unit level. So many things go on, each time you vote. There are scenarios. I'll give you a typical scenario. In my polling unit, in 2019 election, we were still having about 80-something persons queuing up to vote, and the INEC ad hoc is saying that no, they can't vote, it's time. before they will collate, before this thing. They don't want to leave this my community at night. Their life is not safe. These are practical things that happen. So those 80-something were disenfranchised, even though they are voters. And so that has also taken away the number that should have voted in that polling unit. So in practical terms, you need, INEC must make sure that they roll out the ballot papers as at when due. If it's 8 a.m., it should be 8 a.m. So that voting will start by at least 12:12, voting is concluded. You now start counting and all of that before results are.
Do you think that perhaps we should consider extending the duration of our voting, perhaps to capture more people so that some people are not disenfranchised? Earlier you talked about...
Yes, if you extend, the same problem of, I would prefer a 5 p.m. closure instead of 4 p.m. But they will also tell you that some of them are going to distances that they can't easily cover. Some even to get vehicles to move them to their location becomes a problem. If it is night, they can also be attacked just for the fact that they didn't do what the billing of certain persons. Election in Nigeria is.
Does it have to be in one sweep, like in just one day, just run it, and it has to end on that day? We've seen in some countries elections can go on for as long as a week.
Anything can happen in terms of improving on our election. But the point is, what is key, what is fundamental for me, is the attitudinal orientation that will bring to it. There has to be an attitude. You see, the desperation in politics, in power acquisition and power distribution process has become so endemic that people go into politics, poor, they come out of it rich. So that crave for crass materialism has now, altered the permutation or the thinking or the psyche of the average person out there. Oh, this man went to politics yesterday, he didn't have this. Look at the house he's building. Nobody's interrogating. So the craze to get into office at different levels, House of Assembly, House of Reps, local government chairman and all that, is so high that politics has become heavily monetized. Once you are able to de-emphasize monetization of the political process, and you de-emphasize what you get in the process, then less and less people will be, getting involved in it, and also there will be some level of sanity. Look at the National Assembly.
Do you see the new central bank's policy helping to curb the issue of vote buying, as some people have said?
They are already devising another method. Trust Nigeria, Smart Alex. They are already devising another method. They collect your PVC number and all that. You send to them. They send you money it's cashless. They send you money, and don't forget that voting at the local level, it is you and me. I know you. I can't send you money on that day. You go and misbehave. Somebody is there monitoring what you are doing. It's at the macro level. We know ourselves in a world. In a polling unit, you literally know everybody. In fact, families will be represented. You see them, you know them. So it's changing your monetary policy, fine to some extent. But do you have the infrastructure to sustain it in terms of even internet connectivity, in terms of letting people have access to do transaction online, electronic transaction without inhibitions? The traders in the local areas, are they able to key into your policy and programs? You have to think through all of this before you come with such a policy.
Now, there's a question I want to ask now,
yes.
And it's concerning your stand as a politician. You said earlier that you wanted to contest for, you had the intention to contest for House of Representatives. What changed?
Okay, in my area, the zoning policy affected me, so I couldn't tell you. In 2019, I collected form. I paid 1.5 million for the PDP form to contest. The same issue happened, and I backed out. So I don't want to go against the run of play because I want to contest. I'm not a desperate politician, so to speak. I'm more or less a media practitioner who found himself in political circles. Okay. That's what I see.
Any intentions down the road?
Yes, I want to run governorship of Edo in 2024 if the reading is right. I pay my dues. I know the system. I have quite a number of friends in the state. People who are also who also defer to me. And so if it is right, fine, I'll look for any of the parties that can accommodate me.
That was going to be my next
Yeah,
question. Any idea which platform?
I'll look for the party that can accommodate me, and I will test my popularity. It's as simple as that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on Daybreak and for giving us, some of these insights. Honorable Kasim, I beg your pardon. Honorable Kasim Afegbua is a former Commissioner of Information in Edo State, and he's now, he's not a party man anymore.
Keen supporter.
He's a keen supporter of the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, even though he's not a member of the APC. Well, we are waiting to see what party you move to next.
And when I move, you'll see it. I don't pretend. I don't hide under the bushel to take decisions.
All right, then. Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
That's our show for today. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube channel where we stream live. Join us again tomorrow for another time. I am Ayuba Ila.
Well, it's been a blast being here on Daybreak this morning. So why don't we do this all again tomorrow? I am Ibrahim Yusuf.